Hendo, thanks for your time. Thanks for joining us, as always. First of all, just looking back on the victory over London at the weekend, obviously another really tight, close fought game at the end.
It was.
How do you reflect on that one, looking back on it now?
Oh, look, obviously really pleased that we've come away with the result. I thought we had some really good parts to our game on Sunday. There were obviously some areas there that we need to be a bit better, a bit tidier with, but overall really pleased to come away with the result. I think for us, it was much needed, to be honest. So it keeps us in touch and distance of the top six. I think had we not come away with that result on Sunday, we're just putting a lot more pressure on ourselves to try and chase that pack, so to speak. So that result certainly keeps us in touch and distance, and we're going to have to make sure we deliver another good performance on Sunday to maintain that. So, but overall, we was fairly pleased. I thought we started the game well. We then obviously gave London an opportunity. And they took, and then I thought the way that we just got ourselves back into the process and stuck to the plan and didn't sort of deviate away from that allowed us to get some good field position, and we took our opportunities when they were presented, which was good. We were clinical, and I thought we went in at half time with a healthy lead. Like I said, it wasn't the best start to the second half for us, but what I do admire about the team was the composure that they showed. They didn't get rattled. A number of teams would get rattled at that stage when momentum has just totally swung in a totally different direction and gone against you. And I thought the fact that we absorbed that pressure in the second half early, and then to sort of find a way to come through the other side and win the game, was fantastic. So don't get me wrong, there's still some areas there, defensively where we weren't good enough. We still conceded 28 points, which is not good enough. But it was pleasing to score some points as well, and I certainly felt that we certainly had some good options in attack as well. Having had a Hingano back in the fold, I thought he was quite instrumental with a lot of our attacking play, and I thought he produced some good kicks as well at the right time for us, so was pleased with that. Some other good performances out there on the weekend, as I mentioned, post-game, Will Jubb, AJ Taus, thought Ollie Pratt did a decent job, but again, it was a really good team performance.
You touched on the defence. I was going to ask what the sort of main areas for improvement or the main sort of lessons and takeaways from that. Is the defence one of those? Is that one of the things you're looking at this week?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can't concede 28 points and be happy with that. So no, we were. I think there was a couple of tries there that we needed to handle a lot better. We also have to look at the reason why they got those opportunities to score points too. So, I think there's a couple of areas that we need to look at. The two main things for me this week will be, just sort of trying to make sure that defensive stuff's better, so we're better defensively against Newcastle. And we can also learn some lessons around game management too. I just felt the position we were in at the back end of the game with about 8 minutes to go, we're 8 points ahead, and we probably just could have been a little bit smarter in how we went about our business just to close that game out. But that's what you're here for. You're not going to be perfect every week, and you've got to find those areas that you need to improve, work on them. So if we're in that position again, we learn from this experience that we handle that a little bit differently, a little bit better next time.
Like you mentioned, Newcastle, the opponents for this weekend. Obviously, I know they're having a difficult campaign at the moment, but as we saw here at the LNR only a couple of weeks ago, they're a really tough side. Yeah, no, look, we won't be underestimating them whatsoever. They've got a couple of bodies back as well, so some good quality players there, and we know that the levels that they can go to. They produced a really good performance against us a couple of weeks ago. They just probably lacked that little bit of cutting edge and that quality in that final third that they probably needed. Very, very similar performance to what we probably produced against Halifax at their place, where we competed really well, a lot of positives, but we just lacked that little bit of quality touch, in that final third, and that was the difference between the two teams. The opposition were able to take their opportunities or chances that day. We didn't quite nail it, and then I suppose against Newcastle, we were able to when we did get those couple of chances, we got them. You know what I mean? So, but we're going to have to be very, very good. There's no doubt about that. I think we have to be certainly better defensively this week than we were on the weekend against London, and certainly just try and make those small improvements with the ball as well. But looking forward to it. Yeah, hopefully a couple more players back from injury this week. Yeah, it should be. I think Danny Kermond now should be available. Obviously, his band's up, so all being well, he'll be available for selection
James Cunningham, all being well, be available for selection. So, and Ollie Butterworth now back into full training and available for selection. So we've got a couple of bodies back now, and it's just going to be down to myself to see, once we look at training, and who's going to be the best team or the best fit for this team this week to go and get a result against Newcastle.
Yeah. Just final word on the fact that it's inclusion day as well on Sunday. We've got the wheelchair team here, the LDRL team, the York RI10 players on the field as well before the game. Should be another fantastic occasion here at the LDR.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's great that, I think we are trying to create these sort of themes, aren't we, every week when we've got a home game, trying to create a different theme and try and, I suppose, open ourselves up to more engagement with the York public. And I think, once again, this is another example of that. A great theme to have, the inclusion day, and to see our wheelchair team and our LDRL team, in action as well. People get the opportunity to experience that, and we've got an invitational guest team here as well, so which is great. And once again, I think it just showcases rugby league, where we are as a sport. I think we're one of the forward-thinking clubs when it comes to that sort of inclusion and diversity, and the fact that we now have different formats of the game which are available to allow everybody an opportunity to experience and play our great game is fantastic. And I'm really, really pleased that we're offering this opportunity on Sunday for our fans to watch, and it's great too that we have these teams as well within our club for people to participate in and be part of. So I think it's great all round.
Hendo, Ollie Field signed on a permanent deal until the end of 2025. How pleased were you to get that one across the line?
Yeah, really, really pleased. Obviously we identified Ollie as a young player that we felt had potential, and obviously we got the opportunity to bring him in on loan and have a look at him and see, basically where he's at, and I'll be honest with you, I've been very impressed with him. I think he's come in, he's fitted into the group really, really well. He's a good person, which is first and foremost. He's got a really good attitude about him. He's professional about how he goes about his business, and ultimately I feel his performances have been really, really solid. To say that he's not had huge amounts of experience playing at that senior level, I think he's acquitted himself really, really well in the games he's played for us, and albeit one of the games he had to play out of position, so and he wasn't fazed by that. So I've seen a lot of really good qualities to Ollie Field, and not just in terms of the way he plays, but also from an attitude standpoint too, and in terms of what we expect of people that are part of our organisation. And I'm just really, really pleased that Leeds have allowed him the opportunity to progress his career further here with us, and released him so he can become a permanent player for us. And I do think he's got a bright future ahead of him. He's 20 years of age. We know he's still in that development phase as a player, but I just think physically he's going to continue to develop. But also, as from a playing point of view, I think he's only going to get better with the more exposure he has at this level, and obviously, hopefully with the coaching team that we have here, we're going to get the best out of him.
Yeah, how much potential do you see in him? Like you said, he's only 20 years old, and still plenty of experience for him to grow into.
Absolutely. Well, that's what excites me. I think we've got a player here at the moment who's come through a good system at Leeds, and so the foundations are there with him. And I just think just his style of play. That's why I brought him into the club, because he fits. I can see from what I'd seen previously, he would fit our style of play. As an edge back rower, but also maybe one day will evolve into a ball playing middle unit as well. So, but again, the fact that he's handled himself really, really well, I think bodes well for the future. And I'm just generally excited to work further with him and hopefully see him fulfil his potential here with us here at the York Knights.